Most electronic drums don't sound bad because of the module, they sound bad because they're configured in isolation. I spent weeks dialing in our Roland VAD 516, and one lesson completely changed how I approach electronic drums in church. So let me show you what made the biggest difference so you can apply it to your kit this week. If you want the shortcut, you can download our exact kit using the link in the description. Be sure to grab my free electronic drums cheat sheet while you're there. So my goal was to create a kit that sounds like the songs that you hear by Charity Gale or Elevation Worship. I wanted a kick with clean low end and clear attack, a deep, punchy, and snappy snare, beautiful toms, and cymbals that were smooth and washy. Here's my snare, layering 2 snares on top of each other. Preset number 49, which is a maple snare. That's where the body of the snare, the depth of the snare comes from. And then on top of that is 47, which is a piccolo snare, give me more clarity and snap to the snare. Now I have customized the maple snare a little bit. As you can see, the tuning is down 2 points and the shell depth was changed to 16. If you want more kind of chest to the snare where it hits you in the chest, then you can increase that shell depth. If it's too much, then you can decrease that. But here's what it sounds like. So this is my kick drum. The main sound is coming from preset 20, which is a maple kick. And then I'm also layering on top of that the slot 225. It's an enhanced kick. Basically, let me just show you what it sounds like just with that enhanced kick. Here's what it is. It's just adding some click and some more low end to the kick drum. So add that to taste, mix it into taste. And here's what it sounds like together. As far as customization goes, I believe I did change the shell depth and the muffling type. So there it is. Those are my settings. So this is my Tom 1, which is actually a preset for a Tom 2. That's because I like my toms to have a lot of energy and low end to them. So I'm actually using Tom 2, Tom 3, Tom 4 for my 3 different toms that I have. Here's the customization to that tom, and here's what it sounds like. And then here's Tom 2. As you can see, I'm not layering anything. This is just a single preset on each tom. Here's the customization for Tom 2. And here's what it sounds like. This is what I'm using for Tom 3. Here's my customization for that tom. And here's what it sounds like. For the hi-hat, I'm just using a single sound for it as well, preset number 149. Here's my customization for the hi-hat, and here's what it sounds like. Here's one of my crash cymbals using preset 202. Here's the customization, and here's what it sounds like. Here's my second crash. I'm layering 2 crashes together on this one, mainly to create some more sustain is what that second one's in there for. Here's customization. Here's what it sounds like. This is the ride that I'm using. It's just a single sound. The second one's turned off, so I apparently decided not to use that one. Here's the customization, and here's what it sounds like. The V51 drum module gives you several options for ambience, overhead, room reverb, and resonance. This is key to making the kit sound natural. For me, the main thing was getting the overhead right. This brought life and breath to the kit. We had reverb at the mixer, so I didn't add this in the drum module except on the cymbals. That's where I use reverb to extend the length and wash of the cymbals. The primary reverb on the drums will be a room reverb that really brings the drums to life and makes them not sound like they're isolated by themselves. I also like to add a instrument reverb to the snare only. But here's the settings for the room reverb, which is on the toms and the snare and the cymbals. It's a room reverb with a really short decay time of just a little over a second. And then all the other settings are default on this mixer. But basically you can load in a drum room preset or a bright room preset on your mixer, and it's probably gonna work great. So you'll add this, quite a bit of it, to each of those drums. I'll show you how much that I have on these. You can see it's not on my kick, but I have almost up to 0 on the snare and the toms. And here's what it sounds like. And on the snare drum, I also add an instrument verb, which is the same instrument verb I'm using on my guitars and keyboards. It's a hall reverb, and it has a decay time of 2.5 seconds. This adds that trail to the end of your snare, which makes the snare sound awesome. So add as much of that as you can bear. Sometimes I get carried away and have to dial it back. But here's what that sounds like. This may be the most important part of the entire process. Do not finish your drum sounds in headphones. A kit that sounds massive in headphones may sound muddy through the PA. Cymbals that sound detailed in isolation may be painfully bright in the sanctuary. Make your final decisions through the church sound system at approximately the volume you normally use during worship. And listen with the full band. The goal is not to build the most impressive drum solo sound. The goal is to build a drum sound that supports the worship mix. And once you have it, save it as your main church kit and stop changing kits every 5 minutes. Consistency will help both the drummer and the sound tech. In another video, I show you what to do on your mixer to get these drums sounding great with your worship band. So tap the video on your screen or use the link in the description to watch it now. And don't forget, you can download my exact kit for the Roland V51 module using the link in the description.